Gonna get us live on Facebook, and then we'll be good to go. Oh, that's okay, Judy. I'm glad you found it. Oh, that's hilarious, Christy. I just like this. I love this song that's like, I think it's this verse, the words. Oh yeah, this one. Who do you think you are? Dreaming about being a big star. Hello, Gita. Good to see you. Yeah, see the underdog being underestimated and told their dreams are too big. I just love this song. It's so good. Because, you know, we're made of lightning and thunder, right? Okay. So, looks like we're good. All right. Well, thank you so much, ladies, for being here. Andrea, I just want to ask quickly if you'd be willing to share a testimony. I have set you up so that you should be able to share your video. Are you in a place where you could unmute yourself and you could share with us a little testimony? Is that an option?
Yes, yes, I can. Can you hear me?
I don't know.
Can you? I can hear you.
It's gonna work. I'm springing this on her last minute, so we'll see if we can get her unmuted and sharing with you guys. But first, I'll just introduce myself. My name is Shanda Wright. I am with She's Creating an Empire, and I've been working with this team, this company, this amazing group of women for. You could hear her as well. Okay. Let's see. I can hear her. Hi, Andrea.
Yes, can you hear me?
I can, yes. Could you turn on your video?
Let me see.
Let's see.
Let me see.
Okay.
Can you see me?
I can see it. Let's see here.
Hang on.
There you are. Hi. Oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. Okay, I'm going to do a quick introduction. I'll introduce Andrea again. This is super sprung on her. So hello, Sam. Hi, Stacy. Hello, everybody. Oh, yes. So I can't wait to share her story as well as mine. So prior to finding She's Creating an Empire, the team and the resources that we share here, as well as, you know, the people, I was drowning in $100,000 in credit card debt, $900,000 in mortgage. I couldn't even pay my minimum monthly payments with my base income. I had to make commission. I had to make a bonus in order to even be able to eat. And so it really became humbling to me when I saw that I had gotten myself into this situation and that no one was going to help me get out of it. I'm a single woman, never married, no kids. I did not have any help. My mother's disabled, my brother's disabled. Now they're amazing people, but they weren't there. No one was going to fix this but me. And I think that's one of the things that as women, we often hope or rely on, or, you know, have this vision, like there's this other person, male or female, or, you know, family member or spouse or whatever, that will be our answer in those times. And I really couldn't, I didn't have that. So now, here I am, completely debt-free. I've been able to retire by 30. I've traveled the world, and I'm on a mission to help other people live the same life. And so I'm going to share with you the first 5 steps to laying the foundation today that will allow you to know how to, in the next 5 years, not only be debt-free, but also retire yourself if you follow directions and remain coachable and teachable. So we're creating a community where that's the standard, that's the expectation, as well as that's the option. Now, if you love what you do, no one ever, ever, ever has to do anything when you have more than enough. So you never have to quit. But imagine you work for a nonprofit and you could donate back your salary. Imagine you could give more than you make right now to, you know, charities of your choice, your family members. Imagine you could do that. So that's really what I'm on a mission to create, is freedom, options, choices, and opportunity for women around the world. So speaking of which, I want to introduce Andrea. So Andrea is a phenomenal dancer. She is a wonderful real estate agent. She is has a zest for life that is so phenomenal. She's here in on Vancouver Island, British Columbia, and she's just that person that her smile lights up the room wherever she goes. She came into my life, I think it was through dance, right, Andrea?
Yes, through dance.
Yeah, so we met at dance and I was telling her I was hosting because when I was going through my debt journey, I needed accountability. I could not handle the societal pressures of other people telling me that I should be in debt, that I had earned that expensive glass of wine. I had earned a night out, that it was, you know, we have to enjoy life. And so they were always pressuring me to spend instead of to save, to use my money and my time instead of investing it. And it was just such a challenge for me to do it on my own. And so I created this community of people around me where we all held each other accountable. And Andrea was one of my first students and has a really phenomenal story. And so I would just love for you to take a couple of quick minutes, Andrea, and tell them about your journey. Tell them about what you've been through. You know, I understand there's still more to go, but you know, you're continuing to plug in, you're continuing to learn. And I just really admire that. And I would love for you to show people just a little bit of what could be ahead for them if they lay the foundation and stay plugged into the community.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Andrea Paris. I met Shanda 3 years ago through salsa dancing, and we were quickly drawn each other's energy. Long story short, she had the War on Debt group of people, and I joined her right away because I had a really bad marriage. I had lots of debt, and not because of wrong decisions per se per me, but it is just what my partner created, and it was for better or for worse. And we're going to leave the details behind, but we had a large amount of debt. And I joined Shanda's very quiet group because I was very afraid of being judged, and I was not sharing my hurdles and problems. And so in this safe environment, she taught me tools that I could apply. And so it's been 3 years in making. So prior to this day, I have paid off over $60,000 debt. I am on progress.
Let's drop a 111 in the comments for Andrea. Let's go.
It's taken quite a bit of diligence, and of course I come short at some month and I fail not following all the rules I've learned. It is not easy, but it is doable. I am on the path to become debt-free soon as my divorce is finished. I am living single, but what I can tell you is what I've learned, that I'm no longer living a debt-incurring life. Actually, I'm living well beyond my needs, and I became a minimalist, and I learned other ways to make money. So it's really exciting for me to follow Shanda. I've been looking up to her, even though she's like years younger than me, but she's a light ahead of me. So I've learned what I've learned from you, and I'm ever so grateful for that. And I don't know what else you would like to hear. Yes. But we are on this journey together. We are going and make my life and our lives better, right? And help many women along as we can.
Exactly. It really is about creating that space and that peace, and that priorities. When we say minimalistic, it's like really what matters, right? Yeah. And times where I heard this analogy, I realized that I was buying stuff I didn't need to impress people I didn't like with money I didn't have.
Yes. Yes.
Created pressure, right?
Yeah.
So
and it's really nice. I have a very nice place. I have everything what I need plus more, and still this is considered the minimalist lifestyle. And it takes an energy away what you used to waste on it to being worried. Now I put that energy into doing something good. And of course, thanks to you, I really followed the self-development. I studied it quite a bit, but never applied it until you came along in my life. You said, okay, woman, if you just apply it, just apply it. And I think you've been there too. Like, we know it, but you just didn't apply it. Right?
I love that. It's so true, because we often are focused on this, on learning.
Yes.
It's the doing, it's the execution. I was actually meeting with a fellow builder, real estate investor this morning, and he's like, and I just said, how many projects have you ever done that have been exactly as planned? How many, right? And so, and he's like, literally not one. I was like, me neither. I've never had one construction project that ever went exactly as planned. That's not the way they work. There's too many variables. That's the way life is, right? Nothing goes as planned. So we can think about it and plan it all we want, but it's the doing it that allows you to troubleshoot and run into the problems, gain the confidence, execute, and really internalize the lesson so that then you can pay it forward. So
yes. And it's building our tribe, right? It took me a very long while to understand how to associate with no negative people. Who are the people I want to be? Delete those people, finish the wrong relationships, close the doors needed to be closed. And now thinking about the future, putting the steps in place, making my calendar purposefully to my goal setting. So yeah, quite a bit in 3 years. You met me 3 years ago. I cried. I was not healthy, not physically, mentally. And now I'm the healthiest ever. And I'm just progressing. Thanks to you. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so proud of you. And I just have to ask this question to you ladies. And you can answer it in the chat or you can answer it in your mind, whatever feels comfortable for you. I love celebrating and cheering people on, but I just want to say, where were you 3 years ago? Were you in the same place? Does it look similar? You've been through some things, you've had some life experiences, but really right? Like Andrea and I were not okay 3 years ago.
Nope.
And neither one of us had everything figured out. But we plugged into some mentors, we plugged into a system, we linked arms and learned together. She just knew that I was one step ahead, not that I was 20. She knew I had a pile of debt I was working through. Mm-hmm. This woman knew me when I had $1 million in debt. I had barely paid anything off by then. So that's why we need each other. And that's what I love about what we're creating here. In debt, no job, family in need. Yeah, health issues, right? See, it's amazing to think where we were 3 years ago. And so many people, their mind's different, their experience is different. They've been through some things, but now, yeah, ending of a bad marriage with debt, same old, exactly. Mm-hmm. And yeah, your kids get older. And again, there's things that change, but fundamentally, if your same problems are your same problems 3 years ago, then what makes you think they'll be different at 3 years from now? And the truth is your life can be completely different 3 years from now. We overestimate what we can do in 1 year, and we underestimate what we can do in 5. And so I want to thank you so much, Andrea. I'm so proud of you. What I'm so, so, so grateful for is that you remain hungry and teachable, even as you get success. Because when we have a little bit of success, sometimes that can go to our head. And they say the enemy of great is good. And that really is something that you have not done, because a lot of people would stop and settle and stay comfortable where you are instead of going to the next level, desiring to become teachable, coachable, and to be able to go to the next level of paying it forward. So I'm so excited I freaking love you, girl.
It's all good.
Inspired so many people. You were put on this earth to inspire people. I am so excited to see exactly how you can help these women as we go through this journey and into the next season of She's Creating an Empire. So thank you again.
You're welcome. Anytime. Keep growing.
Isn't she amazing? Let's get a 111 in the chat for Andrea, because honestly, I just sprung this on her live on Facebook and on Zoom, so she had.
You did.
You're amazing. Thank you so much, beautiful.
Bye.
Bye. Well, you're going to stay on here, but we'll meet you. Okay, so now I'm going to get started. Now you can see what it is that we do and how we really, it's about results, right? It's one thing for me to get my own results, but it's another thing for other people to get results. And I want to share with you what that looks like. So let's hit the button. There we go. Welcome to the She's Creating an Empire Debt Crusher Masterclass. My name's Shanda, and I'll walk you through laying the foundation for your financial future. I'm actually going to open up the chat because I want to see some participation. There we go. Yes. See, Andrea, you're inspiring people all over the world. I love it. So the first step, first thing I want you to do is get a pen and paper handy. This is not entertaining mindset stuff. This is practical things that are going to get you free. If you're not serious about your money, why would your money be serious about you? So first thing we're going to do, laying the foundation, we need to do an account audit. You guys have heard me say this in the She's Creating an Empire events where we teach the basics. So in order to be promoted, the law of promotion states that when you become faithful with what you've been given, you will be made ruler over much, much more. So if you want more in your life, you must become good at what you do now. Now, if you think about the process of having a field, okay? So imagine you have this field and you're planting an orchard. Now, managing your orchard takes diligence. You have to plant the seed, you have to till the land, you have to weed the ground, you have to water it, you have to harvest it, you have to prune it, you have to go through the seasons. That each season is there for a reason, and you can't have harvest season without planting season. You can't have planting, you can't just stay in planting season, but it's important that we're always planting seeds and that we're always continuing to till and prepare our land. What a lot of people do is they plant seeds and then they're like, oh, it didn't grow in one day. This is stupid. And then they stomp on all their sprouts and they'll say, you know, I paid off 60,000, but I still have more. But I still have more. Or what they'll do is they'll plant seeds, they'll see little sprouts, and then they'll just walk away. They'll be like, oh, I'm good. Or even worse, they'll continue to till the land. So if you only, like when Andrea talks about learning and doing, the reason that I've noticed this is that there's a lot of people who continue to till their land. They're constantly tilling. They're constantly, and what I mean by tilling your land, I mean that's personal development in your mind. You have to continue to do it. But if that's the only activity you get, you're just gonna have bare lot. You're not gonna have the sprouts. You're not gonna have the fruit. And so you can't just till your land. You have to plant the seeds and you have to protect the sprouts. You have to speak life over them, give them space and water and growth. You have to weed get the weeds out of there. Just like Andrea said, getting rid of some of those people, situations, habits, spending behavior. And once you get really good at managing that land, the whole season, all of the pieces, the tilling, the personal development, the sowing, the actual planting of good content and the engaging in good content and the reaching out to new people and the sowing into new people and protecting the sprouts, allowing the growth process to be messy, as well as harvesting the fruit when it's time. You must, otherwise your fruit will just fall on the ground and rot. And so if you've got a team of people, but you're not planting seeds, if you're not actually taking those seeds and reinvesting them into your land, it's just going to rot and your tree's going to die. And if you don't prune when it's time to prune, get rid of the dead weight or that extra growth, then it's not going to be prepared for the next season. But once you become very good at managing your plot of land, managing your finances, then you can take on an expansion. You can get promoted and you can be made ruler over more. Now, when you get made ruler over more, you have the management of the old and you have the planting and the preparing of the new. And it takes time, it takes energy, it's a whole process. But you must have that mindset when you go into your account audit. You are looking for wisdom. We are trying to be wise and I shouldn't even say that. We are diligently working towards becoming a good steward, right? So we need to be a good steward. I think about myself as like a queen of a kingdom, and I'm managing this whole process. So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna print off your bank statements. Okay, this includes your Visa statements. This is anything you spend money on. Okay, if you're spending money in cash, then keep track of that, but don't do it anymore, at least in this moment, because we need to keep an account. Now, you want to highlight your non-essentials. Now, what's an essential? Let's get everybody to put something in the chat that's a non-essential. So tell me something that you have paid for, that you've bought, that's not required as a basic human need. If you were homeless, you would not need this, but you pay for it. Okay, Starbucks, coffee, cigarettes, yes, nails, pretty shirts, manicures and pedicures, absolutely. So there are some things that challenge us. Our cell phone plan. Wine, I know, Danielle, it is. Junk food, absolutely. Cable, notice, no TV, right? Netflix, absolutely. Okay, so what this does, video games for kids, yeah, I know people who spend crazy money on their kids' iPhone games. Eating at restaurants, that's probably my biggest waste of money, is eating at restaurants. So, it's so simple for us to justify, oh, well, I need a new pair of pants. And when you really can get clear on this, I've been seeing a lot of my Facebook memories come up, and I can tell you, I wore the same, yeah, alcohol, absolutely, Judith. The Facebook memories from 2 years ago, I wore the same pants every day. They didn't fit. I had a belt that I actually got as a hand-me-down from a coworker. She was going to throw it out. And as I lost weight, because I was not eating out, I was not eating junk food, and I wasn't drinking, yeah, giving son money, absolutely, Maureen. We will definitely, I do that right now, right? It's like this process of like having these clothes that Holly, I understand. She's participating. But like, there's just this experience that I've gone through of looking back. I'm like, oh, I made some really specific sacrifices. Now, some people get comfortable living like that. And if that's the case, that's great. But you'll lack diligence. You will lack, if you just get comfortable living on less and you shrink down to accept that, that's different than shrinking down and taking that extra and putting it to work. So we have to first essentialize our life. Oh, Holly, I don't know why she always wants to talk when we're on live. This is my puppy I'm talking to. She's right here. So you want to add up your non-essentials and you want to figure out what the fat is in your budget. Now, what I did, there's two different reactions that happen here. Well, there's three things that happen. Every single person doesn't realize how much money they're wasting. It still happens weekly and monthly for me. So we have to keep this habit up. The second thing that happens is some people are like, holy Hannah, I was wasting $1,000. I've never met anyone who couldn't find $500. Not one person. I don't care if you make minimum wage. Everyone can do it. So you have so we have the person who's like, holy, I just wasted so much money. And then you know what happened for me, which isn't most people, but I was extremely in debt. I realized that even before I had fat, I was spending more than I made. So my expenses, my minimum monthly payments and my absolute essentials was barely enough, was barely covered, barely. I did not have any extra. I had no fun money. I had no play money. I had no grocery money. So now what do? Well, I got to find a way to make more money and I got to reduce these expenses. And actually one of the things we're going to do, because this is a masterclass, this is laying the foundation. We are going to be doing a 5-day section of a financial fitness round that is coming up in September that will literally walk you through building a financial blueprint. And what we're going to do is we're going to get really into what that piece looks like and how we can reduce the fat. And what to do to reduce the expenses. Because what happened for me is I had to negotiate interest rates down. I had to negotiate mandatory expenses down. I had to find new money. I had to find new income sources. I was already working 100 hours a week. I didn't have extra time. So what did I do? How did I negotiate it? We'll go through that for sure so that you can even find more space. But what you want to do is add up those non-essentials. And that's the fat in your budget. That's the extra. That's the non-essential money. So the law of use says if you don't use it, you lose it. Ambition unused declines. Diligence unused reduces. Freedom unused goes to waste. So I want you to know that if you use it, you can gain it, but it's going to hurt. It's like going to the gym again for the first time in forever, right? You use diligence, you gain diligence, but there's a muscle growing experience that happens and it's tough and it's hard. And, you know, for me, I have to keep a focus on where I'm going and I have to have cheerleaders around me because it's a challenge to do it on our own. So what difference would more general diligence and stewardship, financial wisdom, overall diligence do for your life, marriage, business, and health? Okay, so what do you think? If you kept promises to yourself, if you did what you said you were gonna do, and if you were better with money, what difference would that make in your life? Drop something that would improve. Tell me how your life would improve in the chat. I wanna see. I wanna see. If you could be more diligent, what would that look like? If you could be a better steward, what would that look like? How could that impact your life in other areas? I know you'd have more money. I know you would, but also might you'd ease your mind, less stress, have more time. Yeah, less stress, right? Less marital strife, 100%. I can only imagine. Gain more confidence in your abilities, absolutely. Better relationships, sleeping better. Andrea, this is a big deal for me. It was. Travel more, absolutely. Less stress, gain confidence. You're so right, ladies. One of the things that I found is I was a better person in relationships. I could because I was diligently stewarding my stuff, I didn't take other people's stuff personally. So I could let my brother have a feeling. Happier, just happier. I could let my brother have a feeling. I could let the physical health piece is bigger than I think most people think, because how many times do we say we're going to eat one way and we don't? How many people say they're going to drink enough water and don't? How many people we commit to going to the gym and we don't? We know we should go to yoga, but we don't. right? Yeah, me too. So the more we practice that muscle of diligence, the more it flows into every area of our life. How we do one thing is how we do all things. It's just overall commitment. One of the things that I have found so beautiful is how I interact with people. It's totally changed my diligence in listening, my diligence in hearing and honoring who they really are, because I'm just looking at things with this deep compassion, and it's just focus. How we do anything is how we do everything. Amen, Carissa. It's just so true. So when we look at our health, when we look at our business, like, how many of you set aside hours to work and then don't show up? Don't do what you say you're going to do, like your kids or your family or your to-do list, or something runs long, right? Now, that means you're fired, right? That means you're fired. I would fire you if you were my employee. Yep, sidetracked, you're fired. Let's fire ourselves. You're all fired. No, I love it, right? So we just fire ourselves, and then we need to rehire ourselves. So let's act diligently in our working hours. Let's keep our time promises to ourselves. Heading to the beach then. Yes, right? But when we fire ourselves, then it gives us permission to get rehired. Now let's earn our position, right? We need to earn and learn how to keep promises to ourselves. And this teaches that muscle, and it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And I can tell you, my time management got better. My relationships got better. My physical health got better. My pant size got better. My business got better. My social media got better. I started following directions better. It just changed everything about how I operated in the world. And so I can tell you, the more you use it, the more you get it. The more you get it, the more you can use it in other places, and the easier it feels, because it's kind of like, have you ever tried to walk up 100 stairs and you haven't been to the gym in a year? Well, if you go to the gym every day, those stairs are easier. And life gives you sets of stairs where you just have to go up them. The question is, are you prepared? So this teaches that muscle. So that's the first step. We're gonna do our account audit. Next, pantry audit. I promised your tuition for the financial fitness round is in your cupboard. Guarantee it. Have you ever do you have anything in your house that's prepackaged and wrapped so you can grab and go? I don't care if it's for your kids or not. If you have it, that's a waste of money. How many options, and it's not a waste of money, it's just really expensive for the amount of food, calories, and nutrition that you're getting. It's not good stewarding. How many options do you have for each meal? Most people? Let's drop it. How many? So what do we have for breakfast in our house right now? Let's just drop it in the chat. What do you have for breakfast in your house right now? What different options? We have eggs. We have oatmeal. Yeah. We have eggs, oatmeal, protein shake. Absolutely. Eggs, oatmeal, toast, fruit, cereal, bread. Yeah. Shakes, turkey wieners, cold cereal, hot cereal, right? What about the freezer? Pips, Carissa, you kill me. Granola, bacon, I love it. So what about in the freezer? Do you have like the Pop-Tarts, the frozen fruits? Yeah, coffee with collagen, eggs, cereal, absolutely. Right? Like, do we have Pop-Tarts? Do we have smoothie stuff? Do we have frozen breakfast sandwiches? How many times? And then we've got all the options that we pick up on the drive-thru. Pizza Pops. If you eat that for breakfast, Keisha, you're amazing. I love you so much. That's hilarious, and I am with you. So now let's look at lunch. No, not for breakfast. No, you kill me. You're so funny. So now let's look at lunch. How many options do we have for lunch? Stacy, I know, it's so funny. So how many options do we have for lunch? We have salad, we have soup, we have macaroni, right? We have cheese, meats, veggies, fruits. We've got sandwich stuff, right? Yeah, not to mention leftovers. Any frozen meals in the fridge? Yeah, we've got veggies, we've got protein shakes, we've got cereal. Exactly. Now let's look at how many options we have for dinner. What's in your deep freeze? Falafels. Right? Exactly. So you got big portions in your freezer, but look in your deep freeze. Yeah, right? Turkey, fish, beef, chicken. Yeah, veggie burgers. Tamales, ice cream, girl. I love it. You guys are Pizza Pops for breakfast, ice cream for dinner. Let's go. You're so great. But then seriously, like there's so many options. Turkey, homemade samosas, burger, fish, wild meat, cabbage rolls. We've got so much food in our house. Now, what do you normally throw out? What goes bad? What do you guys normally throw out? For me, if I'm going to throw something else, it's usually lettuce. Yeah, celery. Yeah, veggies. Okay, bananas, avocado. Girl, never let an avocado go to waste. Bring it to my house. Veggies. I think avocado, I just sit here, wait for them to go ripe. Yeah, veggies and fruit, bread, strawberries. Yes, absolutely. An apple, right? Leftovers that the kids won't eat, peaches. That's your money. That's the same thing as you making a promise to go and work your business and not. 10-year-old canned good, rotten food goes in compost. Exactly. So, you can always do starving kids in Africa. That's real. Actually, a child dies in Yemen every 5 minutes right now. I believe 5 minutes, half an hour, several times a day. There's children dying all over the world because of starvation, real starvation. We actually at She's Creating an Empire believe in giving, because when you give, then you're not taking, right? I love that. All your veggies you throw into pot and make stock for base for the week. I love that, Gita. That's brilliant. We will be sharing recipes as well in this financial fitness round. So I have a lot of tricks for cooking on very little money. My mother actually taught me how to keep money. She was very good at this. So we had, we lived on welfare when I was young, and she had 4 kids. We were all very active and very hungry, and she could do things like, I think she said she could feed 11 people on $150 a week. Now, there was never snack food. There's nothing to grab and go. I never had a wagon wheel or a granola bar. No, absolutely not. But I had chicken and veggies. I ate well. I didn't know what McDonald's tasted like till I worked there when I was 14. Partly because I think I was a brat and I threw a temper tantrum there when I was 3. And she's like, I'm not doing that again. But yeah, it was like, we just didn't order pizza. We just didn't do it. Never happened. It wasn't an option, right? So, when you can look at the food that you throw out, you got to have a recipe for it. My mom used to call it stuff. And that meant everything that's about to go bad is in the crock pot with soy sauce on it. Make your own pizza, it's better, totally, right? And I don't care what you do when you're financially independent, but if you owe someone money and you're throwing it in the garbage instead, that's disrespectful. My friend's dad calls that fridge goulash. Yeah, it totally is. I make mean soups. Why do you think? That's why, because you can just throw stuff in a soup and put some thyme in there and it tastes delicious. But eat all your food. The first step is to go and eat everything extra. Fridge buffets once a week. I love it. You ladies are amazing. So I'm a part of this Facebook group called Online Dining. Okay, good to see you, Gita. Yes, you go. We will totally have this recording. It's going to be in the She's Creating an Empire for a little while. Few days anyway, so you'll have a chance to catch up on the weekend. But I have this online dining community who says, what's something you always have in your fridge? And I said, hot sauce. And they're like, what? What about the food? I was like, I don't always have food in my fridge. At the end of each week, like right now, I have lettuce and beets and carrots and a bottle of wine and hot sauce and some lemons. Why? Because the week is almost over. Don't come to my house on Saturday. There's no food here. And there's never that much food here. Put that shit on everything, right, Sam? I totally do. I think it's so good. I actually have 4 types of hot sauce. But I'm financially independent. I'm allowed to do that. That's my gift to myself. I was like, Shanda, you are allowed sriracha or Frank's. But keep in mind, guys, I had no choice. So I got diligent out of necessity. It takes an absolute warrior to become diligent out of desire. Most people will not. And it breaks my heart that I know that 90% of you won't follow my directions. 90%, maybe 80-20 rule applies. Most of you will say, I'm pretty good. I'm comfortable. This is okay. I do pretty good. I don't throw that much food out. I'm pretty good with the soup thing. I'm pretty good with my money. I don't really waste much. I already, scrape the toothpaste to the end. Pretty good. You won't find a way to get more diligence. One of the things that my mentor told me is, she says, if you're talented at it innately, you actually tend to be worse at it because you take it for granted. So, you know, my okay, for those of you that like love human beings, I feel scarcity mentality coming on, but I'm going to run through it. Well, and Regina, that's a thing, right? We don't want to focus on what we don't have. We want to focus on where we're going, but we need to create an automated system that manages this process for us while we build the muscle of diligence. So I want everyone who, like, they're a people person, they communicate well with people, they have no problem reaching out to a human, they love talking to people. Just put people in the comments. I want to see, who do we have here? People, yes. Danielle, Sam, absolutely. Joyce, no question. Yes. Okay, so these ladies, Christy. Okay, so people tend to not study communication. They tend to not study and get excellent at speaking to people because it comes to them naturally. So what we do is we get lazy in our area of strength. So if you're pretty good with money right now, you are the ones that need to be the most diligent, because you have a gifting. Wasting your talent, wasting your gift by just riding on the laurels. I'm naturally driven. Yeah, I need to be diligent too, Sam. We all need to be. It takes, when we are good at something, I'm really good at making money. I happen to be better at spending it, but I'm really good at making money. So when I go and I would make money, I wouldn't keep track of keeping it because that's where my strength lies. So we need to focus on our area of strength and refine it. We can't be lazy with the thing that we're really good at. It's like my people, okay, there's people who are just clean. They're just tidy. If you're tidy, you're just a tidy person. Your closet's organized. You have a system for the dishwasher. You know, you're just a tidy person. Put tidy in the chat. I want to see. I know there's a few of you on here that are just tidy people. Yeah, Desiree, you're tidy. Carissa's tidy. Yeah, awesome. Well, and that's an area. Again, Regina, okay, awesome. So yeah, my piles are tidy. Gee, you are so funny. Learned it though. Yes, tidy without a kids and husband. I'm the opposite of tidy. Yeah, me too, Sam. That takes a lot of focus for me. For me to make sure that my home is tidy is a lot of energy. But you know what? I'll get better at it than those of you who take it for granted. Why? Because I will focus on it. I will learn it. I am too color coordinated. Yeah, see, I knew it. I knew you were. So that's the thing. We need to get focused. We need to get diligent at what we're good at. And we need to cover our weaknesses with systems, tools, and other people. I'm not the proponent for let's balance ourselves out and not have weaknesses. I think that diligence breeds diligence in every area, but I also think we really need to get excellent at what we're excellent at, and we need to find ways to cover our weaknesses, and when we run into them, tackle them with the same diligence we perfect our expertise at. So real talk, a diamond, even a diamond that's already made into a diamond, they're not that beautiful. They're not that beautiful. It takes a gemsmith. It takes a trained eye to see it, which is why we have coaches who have been trained to see your strengths and your weaknesses. Then it takes refining. Oh, Joyce, you're my favorite. I absolutely love you. Non-generic containers are labeled. Yeah, that's the lady that has a label maker for sure. Like, for sure. I love those people. You go into their house, you know where everything is. And you should be in charge of organizing all the grocery stores. Someone needs to. So think about it. It's refining, it's cutting, it's the letting go of the pieces that are keeping it from letting the light shine through it. If you think about a diamond, it takes a lot of pressure to create, but it's still ugly. It still takes a trained eye, it takes a diligent focus, and it also takes refining. So we have to refine our strengths, and we have to cut ourselves so that all of our impurities are cut away and our light can shine. That's how we can bring our true beauty to the world. And that's where we need to be. That's why we need each other. That's why we need community. That's also why we need to practice. So if this is your strength, I challenge you even more to get good at it. And there are some things, there's a base level of, like, you can't say I'm bad at money, so I'm just going to pretend I'm not and hand that off to somebody else. That's not okay. There are some things everyone needs to do. You are in charge of your reputation. You are in charge of your health. You are in charge of your finances. You are in charge of your spirituality. You're in charge of your happiness. You're in charge of your behavior, your reactions. We are in control of our own life. What good books on this topic do you recommend? I recommend you on which topic? Sorry, I'm late. That's okay, Lindy, you're here and we've got it recorded. So this is the time to practice that. So Danielle, I just want some people, how to get better with people. I suggest the She's Creating an Empire round that's coming up. You're going to learn, I promise. And the coaching, absolutely. This is exactly what we're getting good at, is about refining your strengths and covering your weaknesses and giving you the base level of skill set that will allow you to win in the world. Because what they'll teach you is that your strengths don't get too good. Don't get too good at your strengths. That would be crazy. You might stand out. Your weaknesses, you just delegate that. That's okay. Someone else will take care of your money. That's okay. Someone else will take care of your money. No, someone else will school your children. No, absolutely not. You need to take responsibility for teaching your children what they need to know, and you need to take responsibility for your own finances. I'm heading to my deep freeze now to pick out dinner. I love you, Sam. So I personally sold my deep freeze. Why? Because that way I wouldn't collect stuff. I would go shopping once a week with a recipe list and a list of items. I love online shopping for that. So you can just pick it out. You're not even tempted by anything else. You're not frustrated by trying to find it, and then you get it back. So I sold my deep freeze because it required me to be more focused, more diligent, not have extra food around, because you don't need extra food. That's actually, I have too many kids to not have a freezer. Lindy, how many kids do you have? That's funny. I never had a deep freeze. 5, and there was 8 of us. So, you know, I get it. Also, it's doable. You just have to decide how you're going to manage it. What most people do is they buy expensive things in bulk. I have 9 and 5 live at home, have to plan. Absolutely, Christy. And that's something we will go through in the rounds, is how to plan those meals and how to create that stuff. But what happens is that we end up with extra food. Some of it goes bad. You get freezer burnt chicken. You just do. Right? So we want to have a situation where you have to use the food. Yeah, buy bulk and portion it out. Absolutely. Now, it depends. Sometimes bulk is not that much better. It's really not. Costco can be the biggest killer. Do you know how many times people go in for one thing and leave with 20? Is that wise spending, really? If you didn't know you needed it until they told you you needed it, did you really need it? So I stopped listening to media. I worked at the radio station. I wouldn't listen to the radio. Why? Because it works. Radio advertising works. Yeah, Costco's good at marketing. They're phenomenal at it. Guess what? You don't need that stuff. Make the list of what you need while you're in your home. Go and get that stuff. Do not get any more. And if you need to go shopping twice a week because you have 5 or 9 or 10 or 15 kids, then do that. But just live on a list of recipes. And you know what? Your kids will complain. Absolutely. There's nothing to eat. My mom's like, there's tons to eat. You just got to make it. Yeah, there's tons of ingredients. I remember my mom said that a lot. There's a lot of ingredients. Yeah, I don't want ingredients. She's like, well, there's an apple. I don't want an apple. And you're not that hungry. So we also didn't have click and collect. I'm exactly with you, Lindy. I also, I buy gas on my PC credit card, and then I get my points back, and then I buy my groceries with points, so I actually don't pay for it. Apples on the tree outside. Yay, that's amazing. Only use your hands to shop at Costco if you must. I personally just don't. If I need something that's specific just to Costco, I have a friend pick it up, because I don't pay the extra $50 a year, because you don't, in my experience, I haven't saved that much. So, but I mean, you will make your own recipe, you will make your own list, you'll have your own criteria. I never ate asparagus as a child. Brussels sprouts and yams were special. We ate broccoli, carrots, celery, potatoes, rice, and chicken, and seasonings, because sauces were expensive. We didn't have salad dressing, right? That was just my mother's way of feeding 11 people on less than $200 a week. We've come accustomed to right now world. I'm guilty of this. Yeah, right? Totally. Do you know making bread doesn't cost that much? I know a loaf of bread's only a couple of bucks, but a bag of flour is this much money. Now, I don't think bread's a necessity, so it's totally up to you, right? But you don't need little Yukon Gold potatoes. Russets are great, right? So you just got to really, really get focused on what you believe. I never saw an avocado until I was in my 20s, not once. Nope. Why? Because that's crazy. That's an entire meal's worth of cost, is one avocado. Now it's a beautiful treat for me, not an option before. So that's how you do your pantry audit. Now we need to make a list of your debts. If you don't know what you owe, this is going to be very illuminating. This is the structure. I can still live without an avocado. Joyce, you're so funny. I can't. I love it. I can get really simple really fast. I know how. I literally didn't, like, I only drank, did I even drink coffee, or did I give up coffee completely? I definitely didn't drink my Nespressos, that's for sure. I didn't buy milk. Like, I didn't have that option. I ate chia seeds and fruit. And I lost weight. It was a win-win. So what you want to do with your list of debts is you want to prioritize them. Now, there's a balance, and this is one that you're going to find out when you make this list. And if you have questions, we're going to have coaches that will help you with this piece in the financial fitness round. But what I tend to find, I've invested a high-end spices, oil, and vinegar over a year. I can create so many dishes. Exactly. Now, I would say, using the word invest in that sentence, I think they're delicious. An investment pays you money. I think it's a really special treat that you've treated yourself to, some beautiful high-end spices, oils, and vinegars. So see, it's funny to like make those shifts, right? But I also love flavored oils and vinegars. So when we're doing, I can't see that emoji, but I don't know. So when we're making our list of debts, okay, so we want to list our credit cards first and our car payments and then our mortgages, right? Because the size of the debt and the interest rate, oh, it's love. Okay, I love you too. So the list of our debts versus the list of the payments, as well as the list of the interest rates. Now, the interest rates will teach you how to negotiate down. However, we want to look at what your minimum monthly payment is and create what we call a debt rolling or a snowballing effect. So imagine you find $500 in debt. Right now, you're currently paying $25 a month towards card one, $75 towards card two, $75 towards card three, and $400 towards your car, right? And your total balance of the first one is $525. So that means in 1 month, you'll be able to pay off card one. Cancel it, done. Okay, now you've got another $500 in debt. We've got to catch the rest of the replay. Yes, absolutely. So then card two, right? So now keep spending that money. You've got your $25. You're going to add it to the $500. Now we have $525 every month we can apply towards our balance, which means that another 2 months, your second card gone. So this means now in 2 months, we've canceled 2 of our credit cards, right? So now we've got 75 plus 500. So we've got 575 that is going to be attached to our next debt. So, you know, that would take 3 months to finish the next one. So now here we are, 6 months later, we've paid off 3 of our credit cards. We're left down to our car. Now you have $500 a month plus your $150 that you were paying monthly for your monthly payments. So now you've got $650 a month. I can't do that math in my head. Where are we? There's the calculator. So we've got 600. We've got $10,000 divided by 600. So that's another 16 months. It means 24 months from now, you're debt free. The other thing that I found very interesting is I had to, like I said, I didn't have enough money to pay my bills. So I looked at the payment dates to try to decide when I would take my fat out of my budget, because on the first of the month I had my car and I had my lease or my rent. So on the payment dates, I didn't have enough extra out of my paycheck to make any of those adjustments on the first. So the 15th was my paycheck that I would take the fat out of, but I kept track of that based on paychecks because they're not paid twice a month. So you can make that decision. Again, we're gonna have some coaching around that so that you can personally have your own kind of program based on your specific questions and how that works for you. Maybe you get paid bi-weekly, maybe you get paid, you know, per deal. You're a realtor and you have to, you know, budget based on, you know, your performance and based on your annual seasonality. But that's how I did that. The other thing that I did is that I created my budget based on my bare minimum. And then I had another process for how to handle extra money. right? Birthday money, whatever. You start with the highest interest first. That depends, Sam, on the payment amount and on the interest rate. In theory, yes. In this example, what I did is I had the lowest payment and the highest interest rate aligned, or the lowest balance and the highest interest rate aligned. That sometimes isn't the case. Sometimes eliminating an entire debt is actually better than paying off the higher interest rate, but it depends what you can negotiate too. Because what I actually did is I paid off my first credit card completely, and then they sent me a 0% balance transfer notice. So I went and I took my other 2 credit cards, I balance transferred them onto that card, then I canceled those cards, and then I just paid the same payment down at 0% interest and crushed it. So that's the kind of stuff that we can strategize for you personally in the rounds when we're going through them, and your coach can help. And I'm always available for that. But that's kind of, it depends on the situation and exactly what your exact payment dates, total amounts, balances, and income are. But ideally, the lowest dollar amount and the highest interest rate are the same. Hopefully, your highest dollar amount is your lowest interest rate. Your mortgage is a lower interest rate than your credit card, and you probably have a bigger mortgage than you have credit card balance, right? So that's usually what happens. The car payment is bigger, but the amount, like the percentage, is smaller. And there's something so satisfying about seeing the progress of crossing it off, of cutting up a card. I actually kept them all. Yeah, I kept them in a bucket, and I was like, yeah, another one bites the dust. It was so fun. I actually threw them all up in the air and I'm that person that's like, throw your credit cards up in the air like confetti and, have a party. So that was really cool, but it really just depends, and we can totally help you make that strategy for yourself. But that's typically what I find is the lower balance is the higher interest rate, but we can make those strategic moves together based on who's negotiating what and which credit cards and which people you can get a better deal on and which loans you can get down, which ones you can't. But yeah, it's basically, this is how you structure it, but you want to have this written out somewhere. I actually would put it on my whiteboard, and then every single paycheck when I would pay, I would change the total balance. Isn't that cool? Like, just imagine every single time you get paid, you're like, and you get to just change it. And it's the progress towards the goal that makes you feel good. I promise. The moment you write this down, get it clear, and start moving towards it, you will already feel that monkey off your back. You'll already take that off. Those chains break. It's absolutely amazing. Action plan. Okay, so here's the next steps. Look at the pay schedule and figure out on which paycheck you can take the fat from your budget and apply it extra to the bill, right? Like I said, the first paycheck of the month. Now, again, everyone's got a different pay plan, and if you have questions, we can totally walk you through it. You can ask your questions in the She's Creating an Empire group. Just tag me in them. We'll totally brainstorm with you. Number of months to pay each one off, right? So you want to know, based on how much fat you have in your budget, when is each one going to be paid off? And that means you have your debt freedom date. And I promise it won't be 5 to 7 years from now. So you could either, if you're 40 right now, you could either be 45 or you could be 45 and debt free. The choice is yours. So once you set that off, then you need to block off time in your schedule weekly to go through this process again. Always go through it. I personally did it on paydays. That was my day. That was when I did it. That's perfect. And the other thing, and this is why Andrea said that it was this safe space, because do you know how many people don't want to talk about this stuff? Most people are ostriching their head in the sand, or they think that it's fine or whatever. Like my mom said, she said, yeah, it's fine. You just live on your credit cards. No, that's literally not working. So you want to have someone who has results that can hold you accountable and that you can brainstorm these things with. I found a guy who negotiated his internet bill down to $15 a month. I was like, what happened? I want to know, right? When you find out different ways to add income that are more passive, so you don't take time, right? Or maybe there's an opportunity to do a little bit of contract work or trading babysitters. It was hard to open up, but when the pain was greater, I have acted on it. See, Andrea, you have no idea how wise you are. Like, yeah, exactly, Sam. It's totally doable. Absolutely. Yeah, Sam's a beast. She's a beast at negotiating, this woman. She's the one you want on your team for that. And it's so funny because people are like, will you call them for me? No, you need to learn the skill. It's a good skill. Yeah. And it's so incredible. So that's the thing, is you can negotiate your interest rate down. You can do balance transfers. You can find out different strategies within your bank. You can figure it out. There are ways. You just have to look. And when you have a coach that can hold you accountable, that has results and works with other people, that hears about other situations, it's about bringing us together as a team, as a community, as people, and with those resources. So I can't imagine For my first year doing this, every dollar I paid off in debt, I sent back to a coach to hold me accountable to this every single time, every single one, every dollar. So that gives you a picture for how much I believe that you can't solve a problem on the same level of thinking you created it on. If you got into debt, your habits got you there. Your paradigm creates your habitual habits. The paradigm is how you look at the world. It's how you look at money. It's how you operate in this space as a being. So when you can't shift your results without shifting your paradigm. So you need a coach to help you shift your paradigm. Remember, hindsight's 20/20. I can tell you how to pay off debt. Melanie can tell you how to build a business, right? Morgan can teach you how to trade. Nikki can teach you how to build leveraged online income. That's what we do. We've done it before, so we can totally share these results with you. But you need the people in your life to be able to help you do that. So the next step, so that you know, the round one, we're gonna be talking more and more about reducing expenses and finding fat in your budget, how to shop and cook with less money, because you should be able to do it. In my experience, you know, in the US, you can do it for about $25 to $30 a week per person. In Canada, it's probably double that, you know, but for $300 a month, you can totally feed yourself. Even if there's a big, large man or a teenager that's working with you, living with you, I promise it's doable. Now we'll figure that out, but like, yeah, $300 a month. So you've got a family of 4, like we can do it for way less than $1,200 a month. I think it's harder to feed one person than it is to feed lots, but there's lots of ways around it. So we're going to help you create a much smaller grocery budget. We're going to create your freedom number. What would it take for you to never have to work again? Because my goal is to create a freedom date so that in 5 to 7 years, not only are you debt-free, but you're free of your job. You follow and plug into She's Creating an Empire, you will have all the resources to be completely free of all the things that are tying you down from your time and your money in 5 years. Where were you 5 years ago? Are you that much better off financially than you were back then? Mine's a resounding yes, but then again, that's only very recent. I went through a lot of turmoil in the meantime. So what to do once you're debt free, because that's the point, is that it's one thing to pay off your debt. It's another thing to build that residual income so that your money can pay for your bills, and how to manage and grow your money. That's a totally different skill, right? We got to make money. We got to keep money, and we got to grow money. 5 years ago, I had 2 toddlers. See? Yes. Yes. It's so different. They grew up so fast. And that's the amazing thing, is I watch children, and you know, the difference between a 5-year-old and a 10-year-old, a 10-year-old and a 15-year-old, a 15-year-old and a 20-year-old is so drastic. But how much difference is there between a 35-year-old and a 40-year-old? Mostly not much. We get there and then we get complacent, and we end up adding tasks and to-do lists, and we get so caught up with, we basically fill ourselves to capacity, and then we can just maintain our capacity. That's it. That's all we can do. We can maintain this capacity, which isn't rewarding because we're not moving towards anything. So we need to reduce the capacity. We need to take down some of the pressure, some of the tasks, the petty tasks that end up running our life. We need to get rid of that stuff, the paying of the bills and the debt. We need to get rid of that stuff so we can create progress and opportunity and expansion in ourselves moving forward. So that's what we're going to be teaching as part of the round. So this round comes up in September. We are going to be announcing some of the wait list, because we're not going to have the actual registration ready. We're going to be announcing the wait list, I think, next week. We're going to be doing that in our Facebook group. So let's make sure that we add as many women as possible to this so that they can get access to this masterclass for the next, I think it's about a week. We'll keep this up, and then it's actually going to be saved in a vault for our members and for our VIP clients so that they can go back through it. And we're going to continue to come together and mastermind on this topic, because it's a constant process day after day. So I just want to leave a couple of minutes left at the end here for questions. If you guys have anything specific. Yes, I'm so happy. Thank you so much, everybody. So I can't wait to see you in the first round. You're going to be blown away with what we have put together. This has taken so much work on the back end. What Melanie and Heidi and Morgan and everybody's put into this is insane. I am so excited to see this go to the next level. This is just the basics and the foundation. You have no idea what's possible. And Andrea, thank you again for your time and your energy. If you have any questions right now that I can answer. Can we register next week? Brianna, I'm not sure. Paying off debt, that's super exciting. I know, Sam, me too. I love this stuff. We are just in the beginning. So next week, I'm not sure if we'll have registration, because right now what we're doing is we're onboarding the coaches. So if you want to be a coach that can help, that is trained on how to hold people accountable and work with them through the implementation of this information, these next rounds, and getting a coach is registering for these next rounds and getting coach and expense. Absolutely. And there is going to be a cost. To become a coach has a bigger cost than the round. The information is in the top post there on in our group. So you can see it. Melanie walks through how the program works and what the costs are for the rounds and for the coaches and all that stuff. But right now we're onboarding coaches because we need people to help you walk through this content. They're not necessarily going to be teaching it right away, but they are going to be holding you accountable and linking linking with you on the process as they learn and as they are taught from us. And then from the next step, we're going to be opening up the registration for the round. So we'll be working on that. It's all there. Brianna, awesome. You're so in the right place. Yes. Well, what we'll do then is when there is registration, Brianna, make sure you register right away, because there will be limited seats in this round because we only have so many coaches we have available to be able to help. So we want to make sure we help as many people as possible, but we do want to make sure it is effective, because like Andrea said, if you can't implement, then there's no point. And so we're not here to entertain. I'm not here to just be a talking head. I'm here to help you win. And that means you have to apply it. So we're going to apply it together, and we need, good coaches. We need good students. We need people who want this and are ready to be free in 5 years. Just imagine what that would be like, to have more than enough and no pressure, and you can do it. So we're going to walk you through that. So that'll be in the next little while. I am so excited to see all of you there, to see the testimonies that'll come out of this, to be able to really walk you through each and every piece. And anyone who has the opportunity to become a coach right now, we are going through interviews. We've kept the application process open until the end of the week. And it's the best deal ever. The coaching you're going to get as a beta coach, first of all, it's 50% off. Second of all, the personalized coaching that you get from our team, from Morgan, Nikki, Melanie, and I, the package, the program, the content, it's not as polished as it will be later, but you will get such intimate coaching that if you feel like you want to be a part of this, you feel like other people need this, you want to help other people with this, you don't have to know it yet. We will teach you. But if you have a desire to help and impact the lives of other women, we need those key coaches. We're leaving the applications open until Friday, and then we will be cutting it off because we have to do interviews and we've got a bunch of people to go through. So if that's on your heart, but you just don't know how, you don't know the information, you're like, I'm not qualified. What I want to tell you is we will help you be qualified. This information was taught to us by gracious leaders who have now asked us to pay it forward. So I'll happily show you how. You just have to bring the want to. We have the how to. So you don't have to have a ton of results to be a coach. You have to have a spirit of excellence and a willingness to follow directions. We will take you through the rest of that, coachable and teachable, all the rest of that. So you're going to get more intimate connection and more personalized coaching for this first round, because it's not this well-oiled machine yet, but our hearts are and our results are. So we will happily bring that to you. And if you want that personalized attention from our key coaches that have started this program from She's Creating an Empire, then it's time to get registered as a coach. Make sure the link is attached to that top post there, and we will definitely look at your application and just see if you have the spirit of the kind of person we want to work with, because the skill set will be taught, but we cannot teach your mindset or your heart. So, well, we can teach mindset, but that takes more time. Maureen, you'd love to. I know, we would love to. Well, you know what? Put in an application, Maureen. Yeah, I would absolutely love to. And Brianna, yes, definitely interested in coaching. Amazing. Okay, so again, this is limited. It's 50% off. All the details are in that top post at the top of the Facebook page. And we'll go through these applications. Make sure you get them in. It's an insane certification program that will never be at this price. You will never get this intimate a coaching. You will never have this kind of hands-on access to these coaches ever again. So and I promise you this, our goal is 1,000 She's Creating an Empire coaches in the next year. And you know what? We're going to do it, because the need in this world for this and the rest of the content we're going to be teaching is next level. I am so, so, so excited to be able to help you and your family really win, and to help you help others, because we're blessed to be a blessing. And that was what my mentor said to me, is that, Shanda, all I ask is that you pay it forward. And so now I'm on a mission, because no one should feel that pressure. No one should have a fight with their spouse about money. No one should have to decide, do I get what I want or what I need? No one should ever have to do that. My mother, this is a very personal story, but when she was going through the process of living on less money, she actually would find, like, you know, the Diva Cup. So there was a version of that back in the 90s that she found, because it could be reused, because she couldn't afford tampons and food. No one should have to make that decision. No one should have to make the decision. No one should have to do something they don't want to do to be able to pay bills. Like, if no one, like, if you want to stay homeschooling your kids, you should be allowed. I really believe that. And if you want to live on a beach in Thailand, you should be allowed. And we're just here to help you have that option, to have those choices, to have that freedom, to be able to go where you want, when you want, how you want, with who you want, never miss another moment with your children or with your life, or, you know, sacrificing your health because you have a job, and whatever that exhaustion looks like for you. So I'm so excited to help you win. I'm so excited for this next round. I'm so excited that some of you want to be coaches, and I'm so proud of the ones that feel like they don't know what to do, but they still want it and they show up anyways. Because again, bring the want to, we've got the how to, and we need the woman power. We need the horsepower. We need the champions on our team, and we'll teach you what to do to be able to impact the lives of so many. So with that, I just want to say thank you. If you do have questions specific to your situation, you can drop them in the chat, like in the Facebook group. We'll be happy to spitball and answer those questions. Tag me in it so I get a notification. And I want to share, as you implement these tools, please share in the group what it is that it's done for you. Tell me how much money you saved, how much fat you found, how much debt you've paid off in the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. You'd be amazed. Anything extra that you find in your life that you can sell, that you can put towards your debt, just what that feels like, please share it. There's so many women to lift up. We totally need to. We totally need to, Maureen, and we need your help. We need each and every one of you that are on here to help us spread the word, because I can't reach people you can reach. Not everyone likes my flavor. Not everyone is going to follow me the way that they will you. And that's important, that you lead these women in the way that they should go. We need to follow together and come together and lead together. This is a group effort, and I can't reach them. I need you. They're going to hear your voice louder than they'll hear mine. And you're in their lives for a reason. So it's important that we really leave. There's this song that I think is really beautiful. And the phrase is, it's not what you take when you leave this world behind you, it's what you leave behind you when you go. And that sum is money for sure, but it's a lot about what you teach and bless and empower other women to do. So let's go, let's go, let's go, ladies. Let's add women to the group. Let's all get registered as coaches. Let's make sure we go to the next level. Let's all share our passions and our gifting and become better and refine our strengths and refine our weaknesses and just be shaped into these beautiful diamonds and let our light shine and be brighter, beautiful, more amazing queens in the marketplace, and create our empires and teach other women and our children and their children's children how to create an empire too. So with that, I just want to thank you for your time, and I will see you when's the next event? Oh, it's on Tuesday. So we're going to be doing a She's Creating an Empire event again on Tuesday. And we're going to be going over the trading again on Tuesday. And then we do have a co-ed event on Thursday that will go over the details of the trading as well. If you want to reach out to me personally, I can get you connected to that. And we've got some special training for the people who've applied for coaching as well. So make sure you get that application filled out. We need you, ladies. And I will see you. I will see you next time. Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. I'm so excited to see you in the coaching program. No problem, Carissa. Thank you so much, Regina. Thank you, ladies. All right. I will see you later. You're so amazing too. See you tonight, Joyce. Bye, ladies.